we're with Philip Jacobs in Dorset, talking about his latest Fassett Collective collection with Judy. I'm Judy from Lady So-and-so. And Joy, the original Lady So-and-so. My mother is in the background, so we've got to behave ourselves.
Yeah, we certainly have.
So we're going to talk about your fabrics and inspirations for the Spring 2019 collection.
It's called Spring 2019, but it actually didn't ship until August 2019, so it's more like a summer collection, and it's got a number of designs in it. It's probably got 5 or 6, I think. I normally do. I think it's got 5, this one. And my favourite design in the group was the sea urchin one.
This is very you, because you live by the sea.
I live by the sea.
And collect fossils.
I collect fossils and I go snorkeling.
You see sea urchins a lot?
I don't see many down here on the beach, but I find a lot of fossilised sea urchins from the Jurassic period. But always, even as a kiddie, I was riveted. I used to love, when I went to the Isles of Scilly, I would buy sea urchins in the gift shop, because they have such a fabulous sort of seaside smell and feel about
we used
them.
To find them we used to go off in the caravan to Scotland when we were children and collect the prickly sea urchins.
Yeah.
Put them in buckets.
Yeah.
They used to smell.
I've dived for them off the Greek islands, off roads. You just see them sort of covering the rocks deep down. I've gone down and picked up dead ones. So it's just this idea of putting all the sea urchins into a multi-directional jumble. So it almost sort of works like beach balls at one level, but it gives you a totally multi-directional print. And this is my original artwork colourway. And then Fassett has added some more of his colourways. And as I often say, I think Fassett is the best colourist in the world, and him and Brandon both work together on the colorations. And this is a beautiful sort of smouldery, deep, mauvey, bluey, grey, blacky one, which I think is fabulous. Their colourways just sort of awe me when I first see what they've done. I think, how can you come up with those colours? They're so amazing. This one's fab. I love that deep sort of maroony colour with the green, and then with that sort of golden ochre. Again, I think who would have thought of doing that, and yet it works brilliantly.
At Lady So-and-so, we're all making dresses.
I'm very pleased to hear it. And this one, I like this one because the reds always do really well. Reds and blues do particularly well. I love the way it's done. You've got oranges, pinky reds, and then that really dark sort of, it's almost black, it's almost maroon, it's almost mauve, I'm not sure what it is, but it works so well. And then you've got the dots I painted sort of standing out in a much lighter colour, pulling the whole design together. So I think that's looking great. I'm really pleased with the way that sea urchins has turned out. Was that all the colours of sea urchins?
I think so.
Yeah. Geodes. Yep.
Are these slices of rocks?
These are slices of rocks. It's either agate or malachite, and you get them, they become what are known as nodules, and so you slice the nodule across and you get this sliver of the rock. So that's geodes, and you get all these amazing patterns. I've got another fabric coming out next year which I shouldn't really tell you about, which is just solid agate and malachite. So it's a great whole design, is like great swathes of agate and malachite working together. So that one you're going to be seeing next summer. But in the meantime you've got this, which is again very usable because it's totally multi-directional, and I love it when Kaffe uses the really dark black background. I'm a big fan of black backgrounds because it really makes the other colours sing. And then here's another very nice yellowy, orangey, greeny colourway, which Kaffe and Brandon have come up with. And that's great, very fresh and alive. And I absolutely adore when Kaffe does these really smouldering, mauvey, purpley, dark greeny ones. I love Kaffe's dark colourways, I think they're brilliant.
Is there a particular colour that you start off with? Do you always say do a red background or a navy background as your starting point?
As my starting point, I'll often just do a pale sort of dark egg blue background, because when I'm painting it, it needs to be a colour I can paint on top of. Unless I'm actually going to paint the background around each image, sometimes on my paper I just put down a whole ground of one particular colour, so I wanted something not too strong, and then I paint the other colours over the top of it. And then the way Kaffe works it with his colourways is he takes my artwork and then they go off down to the photocopiers and photocopy it. So then they just paint on top of the photocopy. So you splash the colours on top of the photocopy, and then you've got your new colourway. So that's Geode.
I love this.
Yeah, that's my original one there.
This one I'm definitely going to make something in. Absolutely adore that.
This one's a design based on convolvulus, or morning glory flowers. And I remember a few years back we did a very successful design called Pansies, which is roughly this scale. And my inspiration for this was actually the pansy fabric. And I wanted to take another sort of medium scale flower, not too big, which had the same impact as pansy flowers do, with variegation and variety of colour and form and shape. So I did my research on these Japanese morning glory flowers, and it was so great to find the different patterns and textures. So you've got stripes and you've got spots and sort of jumbled effect. And that was my original colourway, so I did paint it up exactly in those colours, and that's the sort of blue background I like painting on, because it's fairly good for my more naturalistic colourway. So there you've got the morning glory flowers with the blue morning summer sky behind them.
It's a bit like your petunia fabrics.
Petunias, I had the same idea. I love getting hold of a flower which has multiple varieties and textures and forms, so it's not just one sort of flat colour, but you've got variegation, stripes and texture within one variety of plant. So that was that. And then Kaffe and Brandon go to town. So there you've got the one of Kaffe's classic red grounds, amazing turquoise blue he's used, and that sort of what you might call a shocking pink. I would never in a million years have thought of putting pink on top of a sort of orangey scarlet, and yes, it works.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it works. So who else would have thought of doing that? And this one is classic Kaffe. This is Kaffe when he's sort of smouldering. I think this is wonderful, because it's, for me, that's like when I see a beautiful antique Caucasian rug, and it's been almost you've got this vibrant rich colour which has almost become slightly antiqued with age. So again, hats off to Kaffe. I can't understand how he's managed to come up with such brilliant colourways. Look at that cobalt blue, and working against that strange sort of greeny grey battleship background, and the orangey ochre flowers with a sort of mauvey blue stripe on them, and that strong mauve there with the vivid, almost pale viridian green against it. I just don't know.
But it always works.
It always works, and it just shows that we each have a different role in life, and every person has their own area of brilliance. So it's just a question of finding out what your particular own area of brilliance is. Okay. I think there's another urchin we forgot about. This one's a really beautiful classic urchin colourway. Fabulous. I love that sort of mauvey blue, mauve and strong green. Brilliant. Brilliant colourway.
You can imagine that on borders.
Yeah.
For quilts.
Yeah, that would go on so many things. Great as a dress fabric.
Yes, they all are.
Yeah. Let's start off the original colourway. This is called Cactus flowers, and one of my main formats I do for the Fassett collective is taking a large botanically drawn flower and then placing it over a two-tone background. As I've said, it gives the design depth. And in this case, the background is actually hibiscus flowers, and the top flower I've used the exotic blooms you get on cactus plants, which after I've researched them I realised what beautiful flowers cactuses have. And it's very good for when people like to actually cut out individual blooms and
for applique.
Applique, yeah, because there's no real overlapping of a flower, so you can get a good clear cut bloom for your applique. So cactus flowers, and I go back to this format time and time again of floating a flower over it, because even in this bag from the Coach company, which the Kaffe Collective recently did a collaboration with the American fashion company Coach, and this you can see has my brocade peony design, which is lusciously drawn peonies, again floating over a two-tone background. So it's exactly the same idea, which I return to time and time again. And it's a beautifully made bag, but I think it's probably a bit small for me to carry around on my back. A bit feminine, yeah. Yeah, not so good for collecting dinosaurs. No. But beautiful bag. So again, that utilises that same idea of blooms, individual botanical blooms floating over almost like a stencil background.
Well, this is a bag of my mother's.
That's beautiful.
That's mainly your fabrics.
Yeah, you've got a mixture there of me and Kaffe. You've got Kaffe, Lake Blossoms, I think that's
right,
called.
yes.
That's one of my favourite Kaffe fabrics. And yeah, that's a lovely design. It's very solidly made.
It's made with Bosal products, and it's called the Camden bag.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, so there you've got the Camden bag and the Coach bag, but this one you can make yourself.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Cactus flowers. Here again we have Kaffe smouldering dark blue cactus flowers. Amazing way it's got that blue background with the dark mauve background, and then the blues sitting on top of it, just with that little bit of sort of electric, almost like a leaf green. It's amazing how he does that. He gets that thing where he does that colour, makes it that little.
It's almost psychedelic.
It's almost psychedelic, but then me and Kaffe grew up in the psychedelic era, so it's not surprising. And the red one, classic Kaffe colouring again. amazing. Again, he's done that red, and then he's done this sort of electric green, the reds and the oranges and the pinks. And then he takes, I don't think he's aware he does that, but he often takes the complementary colour on the spectrum and plonks it in a small area. I don't think that's a sort of intellectual exercise. I think it's just Kaffe using his sense of colour and how to make something ping. So there, the cactus flowers are definitely going psychedelic there. And this one, brilliant. Yellows, yellowy oranges and pinks.
You can't help but smile when you see that one. It's so happy.
It's such a warm colourway, that. Very lively.
Well, Sue, who works at Lady So-and-so, has made a stunning dress in this one.
This is my favourite of the colourways.
I think this is probably our most popular one.
Yeah. Brilliant. Let's open that up so you can get a good glimpse of that. Hold that up. I love it when Kaffe does the black backgrounds, because they've got a sort of black and grey, and then you've got these really deep mauves, cobalt blue and other colours, even that viridian type green, quite dark, fabulous. And again, he's done his masterly touch with almost a sort of yellowy leaf green appearing. So, total brilliance.
There's the green colourway.
And Kaffe is the master of all different colourways. And that's the green one. I love the way he's got the grey colours in there. But it's very rare for Kaffe to actually have any white. It's nearly all different tones of colour. So again, it's brilliant the way he's done that. Almost 2 tones of green and then more greens and blues sitting on top of that, just with a little accents of orange. Which again, he probably not aware is like the complementary colour to the greens and the blues jumping out at you.
I think this is my favourite design of the whole lot.
Yeah, let's start with the black one. This is a design which I was inspired by an antique French chintz from around 1850, which was designed by my favourite designer, who's a Frenchman called Jean-Ulrich Tournier, and he was active 1850 to 1860, and he did this sumptuous floral prints, which were printed over in Mulhouse in Alsace. And he's my main inspiration. He's my favourite ever historical textile designer, and this one's inspired by one of his chintzes, and it's hydrangeas and roses, I think this is called. It shows rose blooms and hydrangeas and some convolvulus flowers winding amongst the trailing branches, and that's a Kaffe colourway, and dark brown, fabulous, and mauvey colourway. Yeah, it's amazing. Who would have thought of pink, red leaves, pink flowers on a pale sort of mauvey ground.
Do you see these colours before they're printed?
I don't. My first glimpse of them is when they arrive in a big box from Korea. And I know Kaffe's very excited to see what I'm going to think of them. So it's so exciting unpacking them. Because my bliss for Kaffe is when I show him the designs for the first time, which we call Kaffe's Christmas.
And he gets excited about that.
Yeah, he's looking forward to Kaffe's Christmas this November. And I've got everything ready for him. Then I put it in a particular order, so I gradually show it to him one by one.
Yes.
And then we whittle the selection down.
And you've painted them in your...
They're all in my colours. And then, as soon as I've handed them over, then Kaffe apparently gets excited. He wants to get down and start working on his colours. So it works really well as an artistic collaboration. lovely green, rich green background. Orange on green with mauve convolvulus and crimson and green leaves. Who would have thought of it? Yet it works brilliantly. And this again, Cave totally doing his thing. Because here you've got green background, cobalt blue flowers, grey viridian, dusty viridian grey and black leaves and maroon leaves. Incredible. And even you've got orange stems. Incredible. And a sort of lime green, almost virgin on yellow, lime green, but almost fluorescent lime green.
Do you have sort of a set shade of blue that you use, and a set?
I do, yeah. I do in my art.
And in the Cave Collective, is the pink a certain shade of pink?
I don't think Cave does have set colours.
They just.
I think he'll just go. Whatever comes to him. And I think quite a lot of his colours, they're based on things he sees around him in nature or out on the underground train and sees different colour combinations. Or they do a lot of postcards of great masters' paintings, and then you take the colour scheme out of the great master painting and form it into the artwork. So this one, almost psychedelic again, lime green. I would never in a million years have put that sort of luminescent yellow and orange on top of lime green, and the mauve and the red. So brilliant. So that's it for the this summer's Cave Collective collection.
So the next set will come out in the autumn.
The next set
February.
Next set comes out in February. It ships to stores. Yeah.
That will be exciting.
Yeah.